Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope you're all doing great, and we continue with the second part of Law and Order. So let's begin. Luke Summers was one of his ranch bosses, and down to the King's Ranch comes one day a bunch of these Oriental people from New York or Kansas City, or thereabouts. Luke was detailed with a squad to write about them and see that the rattlesnakes get fear warning when they was coming and drive the deer out of their way. Among the bunch was a black-eyed girl that wore a number of the number there were that wore a number 2 shoe. That's all I noticed about her, but Luke must have seen more, for he married her one day before the Caballard started back and went over on Canada Verde, and set up a ranch of his own. I'm skipping over this sentimental stuff on purpose because I never saw or wanted to see any of it. And Luke takes me along with him because we was old friends and I handled cattle to suit him. I'm skipping over much that what followed because I never saw wanted to see any of it. But 3 years afterward, there was a boy kid stumbling and blubbering around the galleries and floors of Luke's ranch. I never had no use for kids, but it seems they did. And I'm skipping over much what followed until one day, out to the ranch drives in hacks and buckboards, a lot of Mrs. Summers' friends from the east, a sister or so, and 2 or 3 men. One looked like an uncle to somebody, and one looked like nothing. And the other one had on corkscrew pants and spoke in a tone of voice. I never liked a man who spoke in a tone of voice. Tone of voice. What's special about it? I'm skipping over much what followed, but one afternoon when I rides up to the ranch house to get some orders about a drove of beeves, that was to be shipped, I heard something like a pop gun go off. I waits at the hitching rack, not wishing to intrude on private affairs. In a little while, Luke comes out and gives some orders to some of his Mexican hands, and they go and hitch up, sun-dry, and dives vehicles. And mighty soon, out comes one of the sisters or so, and some of the 2 or 3 men. But two of the 2 or 3 men carries between them a corkscrew man who spoke in a tone of voice and lays him flat down in one of the wagons, and they all might have been seen wending their way away. But, says Luke to me, I want you to fix up a little and go up to San Antonio with me. Let me get out my Mexican spurs, say I. Let me get on. My Mexican Spurs, says I. And I'm your company. One of the sisters or so seems to have stayed at the ranch with Mrs. Summers and the kid. We rides to Anical and catch the International and hit Santony in the morning. After breakfast, Luke steers me straight to the office. Steers to the office of a lawyer. They go in the room and talk and then come out. Oh, there won't be any trouble, Mr. Summers, said the lawyer. I'll acquaint George Simmons with the facts today, and the matter will be put through as promptly as possible. Law and order reigns in the state as swift and sure as any in the country. I'll be waiting for the decree if it won't take over half an hour, says Luke. Tut, said the lawyer. Law must take its course. Come back day after tomorrow and at 9:30. At that time, me and Luke shows up, and the lawyer hands him a folded document, and Luke writes him out a check. On the sidewalk, Luke holds up the paper to me and puts a finger the size of a kitchen door latch on it and says, latch on it. Decree of absolute divorce with custody of the child. Skipping over much, what has happened of which I know nothing, says I. It looks to me like a split. Couldn't the lower man have made it a strike for you? Made it a strike. But, says he, in a pain style, that child is the one thing I have to love for. She may go, but the boy is mine. Think of it. I have custody of the child. All right, says I. If it's the law, let's abide by it. But I think, says I, that George Simmons might have used exemplary clemency, or whatever is the legal term in our case. You see, I wasn't inveigled much into desirableness of having infants around the ranch, except the kind that feed themselves and see for so much on the hoof when they grow up. But Luke was struck with that sort of parental foolishness that I never could understand. Although we're riding from the station back to the ranch, he kept pulling that decree out of his pocket and laying his finger on the back on the back of it and reading off to me the sum and substance of it. Custody of the child, but, says he, don't forget it, custody of the child. Alright guys, thank you for joining me today and see you tomorrow on the next part. Thanks, bye.